right, next, following up from the first video, hopefully you didn't cheat me out on that. Number 16, don't depend on coffee or whatever you use to get yourself up. Most of you probably use coffee, but the reason why is don't depend on anything because it's a hindrance. It's a weakness because if I know about it or if anyone knows about it and you use it to do whatever you need to do, I will exploit you on that. I can use that and leverage myself. That depends on whatever it is. I tend to be a good guy. However, in some places where there is competition, like sports, people will definitely want to exploit that because there can only be one winner. Plus, who doesn't like lifting a trophy as well? But yeah, that's one reason why I haven't drank coffee, and I'm not too sure if I really want to go back. Because to be honest, even if I do drink coffee again sometime in the future, I just don't want to depend on it. It's just for me, it's like a good trinket, It's like a good thing to have. But I don't know. I just noticed that now for me, it's just more of, all right, let's get up and get to it. When you have, I don't know, when you have big dick energy, you don't need coffee. Promoted, it's good. Only if you promote something that's shitty, then yes, it will hurt reputation, it will hurt brand and whatnot. But if it's good, also the moral obligation to share is important. For example, this presentation I'm making. If it was just something of, oh, I made I don't know. Well, what do people do in college? I don't know, like I made an English paper. Yeah, who cares? Only the teacher's gonna read that one. So, or let's say if it's one of those terrible slide presentations like this one, then of course. But then again, that depends on my occupation. If I was on someone who made designs and I showed this, then yes, that would definitely hurt the brand. But if, let's say you are let's say a graphic designer and you show some killer and you offer, I don't know, a $1,000 ticket one-on-one call to help other graphic designers, and you're one of the best, then yes, promote it. Please promote it because it will help other people, and you'll be able to build establishments, make your money, whatever, So if it's good, sure. If not, please keep it in the drafts. All right, number 18. People are only going to remember the first or the best in anything. Because let's think of sprinting or running. You remember I don't exactly remember the first person who ran I think it was the mile under 4 minutes or 5 minutes, something like that. But that story always is ingrained in my head. It's once one person does it, then all of a sudden everyone else does it. It's just breaking that belief. And breaking that belief is one of the hardest. And I hope to be for whether it's of sons or daughters of immigrants or people just my age in general who don't think that because they have had these setbacks, they won't be able to reach anything or be worth anything. I hope to be the first of those people to say, hey, that's not true. Because if I had a worse start to life, and you might have better access to things, you can also pull it off, So that's the story of the first. But then there's also the best, where probably the only runner in sports you might know is Usain Bolt. He's the best. He's the best that for now that will ever be in like soccer also or football. Messi, he's the best that there ever will be, to be honest. But that's biased as well. But it's just those things. You only remember the first of the best. And that's another thing. You shouldn't feel bad if you're not in those either. But just know that that's the rule of life. And I definitely won't be the best, but hopefully I can be the first for many people. And that's also the other thing too with this thing that ties into results, because the results is the only thing that matters. You probably would think that everything that I have said, had I not made this filter, you would think, oh, this is delusional, this is philosophical or whatnot. But because I now have proof that I have completed it, and now that I have done the mission that I said for 361 days, I had a big mouth, but I said I was going to do it. But now no one's really going to keep me accountable on that one because I already did it, which ties into I'd rather for everyone to do first then say, rather than do it the way I did it, which was say first and do it. Unless you're actually going to pull it off, then fine. Then people are going to make a bigger deal out of it because it's like he he did it, but whatever. But yeah, the result is the only thing that matters. Nobody would give a fuck about this thing had I not made the filter. And only once you win the final battle will people take this seriously, because these words carry more weight than, let's say, a month ago. Had I made this a month ago, because competency really adds a lot of weight on words and results. 20. Take advantage of any advantage. So if you're in the first world, like me, you got access to pretty good resources. Use them. Use them for whatever intention you have. Because to be honest, I'm not the president. I ain't Jesus to say that this is good, this is bad. Because we all got our things that what we believe is right or wrong. But if you have anything that can be used to leverage using your attention and putting it in the right places to whatever you consider, take advantage of it. Let's say you have a family-run business, and you trust your family. Cool, take advantage of that advantage. If you have access to a network of, let's say, I don't know, of like $1 million e-commerce stores, fine, take advantage of that. Learn from them. Learn as much as you can, try and get an intern from them or whatever. Just take advantage of everything. All right, moving on. Less is more. Why do you think less is more? And the reason is, look at the slides. The slides look like black. Even in the center and all that, because I don't really give a shit. Less is more. And plus, why do I need to make it look all colorful if the lessons, the words, is what's gonna sting more than however it looks like? The only thing I really wanted it was dark mode, because I don't want to hurt your eyes. Neither do I want to hurt mine as I record this. But less is more. So same thing. And here's the rule of life that also, just from my experience, is the less you have, the more somehow you just pull more off. But the more you have, the less quick you are. You have less speed because you're still trying to figure out what should I do, or what tools to use. But when you don't have a lot of tools in your kit box, you just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna make whatever comes up, you know. So, and I've seen this because I am living proof, and that may be you. So if you have a lot of resources, I guarantee you probably are moving a little bit slower than somebody who is way behind. And to be honest, that's probably a rule that's also a rule of life, to be honest, at least from my world and my experiences. That's just a rule of life. The less you have, you somehow are more, you create more in this world than someone who has a lot. All right, content is king. This one is a big one, because this is content. This is me building my personal brand, if you like to call it, or my reputation in whatever missions or endeavors that I like to take, and creating as much as I can. It helps you iterate with speed, but it also creates that volume of repetition, and also sharing these things, because if you can't explain it simply, it's not good enough. That's why there's no colorful stuff in here. This simple is better. The words on the slide and what I say is enough. And remember, on lesson number 9, share as much as you can, because ideas are worth $0. So until you really make it real, didn't happen, you know. So keep going with content. But here's the one caveat: there's actually something greater than content. It's context. Context is gone. So let's say you have 2 pieces of content, and they're both about the same topic. Let's go with I don't know. Let's go with 2 ice cream stores. Why not? Let's say one ice cream store was made because they wanted to have a business. Cool. Let's say one of them was made because one of them was, I don't know what it's called in English, but like a paletero. So one of those like street carts with ice cream on it. So, and he or she said, you know what, I want to create a larger brand of this. Context is gone. Where one of them is like, oh yeah, I wanted to get out of the financial shit, versus one is like, I worked in 8 hours long in the hot sun. It was boiling while my ice cream was melting and stuff like that. And it was oozing greasy. More I realized, you know what, I need to do something about this. I want to build something larger. And let's say that they came from from a minority state, and they said, I want to bring this piece of my land into this new world. That has so much more context that makes it a lot more fruitful, more enjoying, and you are almost hypnotized into the story. And maybe I already have hypnotized you because these stories are rare, but the rarer the story, the context is higher and higher, closer to the level of God. So remember, so that's the lesson number 3 is, remember lesson number 3. That's basically it, because this one ties to it. And by the way, please don't lie if on the context is God. You need to live the story, because there's this between knowing it and feeling it. If you know, you know. Anyways, expect your work to be surpassed in 10 years, because I know for me, this filter that I've made, they're probably with the help of AI and materials informatics or something like that, they're definitely going to wipe out the thing that I built, and they're probably going to create something 10x better, or maybe even 10% better. But hey, 10% is better than 0%. But I really believe it's going to be 10x. But that's why we build these things. That's why every generation will surpass the other one, as long as they maintain a strong and moral code, because every generation was built on the success and the accomplishments and the creations of the predecessors, of your fathers, of your grandfathers. That's why your lives are a bit easier, maybe even a lot easier. But that does not give you the right to stop, because you keep building on this tower. Maybe it is because we have that tendency ever since humanity planted the first seed. We've been hungry, craving for success. But that's how it is. And that will be the golden rule of life, to be honest, is expect for the things that you made to not even be relevant. And that's okay, because we're creating and we keep continuing, we keep thriving. And be tolerant of a lot of shit, because there is no place, there isn't a place in this world where you cannot be tolerant and expect it to be all okay. There will be times of stress, of pain, of hard shit. But the more you can handle, is the bigger the reward. So risk is related to reward. And where there's more risk, there's more uncertainty, and there requires a lot more of tolerance and anti-fragility. And yes, God is fair. Whatever you get, you deserve. So whatever you put in, you're going to get out. He'll give you what you worked hard for. And this one's kind of a bit funny, but yeah, don't be humble 100% of the time. Because look at the way I'm dressed. I'm not really that formal, bro. Because I don't need to. And even with the way I'm talking, I don't sound as in, oh, I'm going to just say, oh, no, I'm speaking with absolute clarity and with certainty and authority, because this is my journey. This is what I know. This is what I've done. So I work so hard for it. There is a time for me to just, shut up, listen, take notes and whatnot. But then there's times where you need to show your words, show your competence, show you are that man, or that lady, whatever. You need to show sometimes that you are the authority, because you don't get around in life just saying, oh yeah, I'm still learning. No, there is times where you say, no, I'm the dude here. I'm the one who knows. But that comes also with experience, knowing when it's time for you to talk and when it's time for you to just use your 2 years and listen. All right, number 27. A wrong move is better than no move, because that's going to lead to overthinking, where you're overanalyzing and you're looking at all the right options and just being so afraid of making anything that will kill a lot of anything, of any progress that you have made. Because that was one of my old tendencies. That's probably part of this tendencies from ENFJ. But again, that is just something that with the mission that I've had, with surrounding myself with more people who tend to be more logical and just make the decisions immediately, that has helped me reducing this tendency. And I know that there are big decisions coming up in this next week, so just being surrounded by these people has allowed me to create filters and knowing, okay, how can I make this decision quickly in, let's say, less than 5-10 minutes. Sure, for some people it might take less, but everything's a work in progress. But I'd rather let you take a wrong move than not do anything. Because, well, Martin Luther King said, if you can't walk, roll, if not crawl or something like that. But you got to keep moving somewhere. And plus, going the wrong move will help you figure out it is the wrong move, so you don't do that again. Okay, this one's one that I do, but check the bank account when you're up. So, my phone, I got the bank app. Open it. One of the first few things that I do, and just helps me looks at, okay, this is the number. This is, I feel like shit, and how can I do to get this number up, or make sure that, or even just like looking at what I spend it on, because I think the last purchase was getting the chemicals, and I was very tempted to go get a Diet Coke on the second to last day of school. I was like, well, how's this going to benefit me? Is this really worth it? Do I really deserve a Diet Coke? And I was like, nah, you don't. I don't. Yes, it's a win in my life, but it's not the thing that solidifies everything. Keep moving on. So it keeps you very aware, and you can do it with whatever in life. You can even do it with where your attention goes to. But I don't know, money's starting to become a thing in my life. But if you need to, and if you're building some stuff and you need some money, and everyone's kind of being of a dick and not giving it to you, probably you didn't sell yourself enough, or maybe they are dicks. But also, if you need to, there's always, where there's a will, there's a way. All right. Get a mentor, but get a goat in whatever field you are, because one meeting with them is worth weeks of just going on Sci-Hub and looking up news, like those scientific pages and all that. It's worth just going from the source, who has 20 plus years. And if it's a team, congrats, you got like 40, 60 years of experience that you can, if you, with asking the right question, you can compress that. And there you go. You get your knowledge. They can even guide you in the right direction. And if you understand humans, you can probably get more than one. So I'm just saying, just learn how to influence people. So read Dale Carnegie, I'm telling you. All right. 30. I know a lot of you want to change the world, or at least change something in their lives. Fix yourself first. Fix your closet. Fix your mess. And get your dirty mind out of the gutter if you are. And you know what I mean by that one. And yeah, how are you going to help others when you can't help yourself, you dumb fuck? All right. So fix yourself. Go back to lesson 11 if you need it. All right. Number 31. You're listening to this. Great. Not a lot of people will. They're probably going to look at some gaming stuff. But you got to actually live the current mission that you are. Don't just take these lessons that I'm giving you and just say, oh, right, when I'm bored, I'll remember them. Because watch. Most of you are probably going to listen to this and then click on another video, or you're just going to keep doing what you're doing and you're just like, all right, whatever. Very few of you are actually currently dedicating yourself, almost every single decision, to the mission that you have. So that's where the juice is. And that's where these lessons hit hard, is when you actually apply to the mission. That's why I told you after lesson 15, internalize them, apply them somehow, or like even if it's a small thing, or maybe if it's just doing something, applying it to your mission or whatever. But please, okay, don't waste my attention, and I won't waste yours. Which ties into number 31, which I didn't want to say earlier, but it's just align 100% of your life to the current mission that you have, because that's where the juice comes. So let's think of basketball camp. If you did basketball camp as a kid, I did soccer camp, but in basketball camp, you're just basically surrounded by basketball coaches, with people who want to play basketball, and all you're doing is learn how to shoot, how to defend, or how to block, or whatever. Is the same thing. If your current mission is, let's build, I don't know, a nuclear reactor in your home, or if you want to build a nuke, fine, go build a nuke. Surround yourself with people who build nukes, who only talk about nukes, and mentors who know the ins and outs of nukes, and maybe go to a place where go find a place where they exist, where these people exist. Why do you think Silicon Valley is home to the biggest nerds on the planet? Just saying. And for sports, Miami, which is a good place, I guess. But it's just those things, You need to get yourself around in that place where all you're thinking about is that. I'm not the first one to say it, but hopefully this one sticks in your head. Align 100% of your life and your decisions to the mission you have. That's where you're going to get the fun out of it. And if you're gonna say you don't have resources or whatever, there's a will, there's a way. If you really want it, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna hustle. All right, be impatiently patient. There are some things in life where I have zero control, and especially with this filter, especially when you send out like grant or like your grant request and whatnot, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. You can't just be like, okay, hurry up, hurry up. You need to, trust in the process, but you also gotta trust yourself when you know you have control and power. When it's in your hands, wait. When it's in your hands, use volume times attention times speed. Get going. But when it's not really in your control or your power, you know, give a prayer or just wait, because I know sometimes we like to be authoritative and try and have everything in our power. You will never be able to, so might as well learn patience. 34. This one trick that I used to get some of my mentors, which was I tried figuring out what their native tongue was. So yeah, one of my mentors, he came from the northern Mexico, so that was kind of easy. So I just literally sent him the entire email in Spanish, and he's been one of the good mentors to these days, outside of TKS in general. And that's kind of how I was able to befriend some of these mentors. Is you just find what they do, or like find their tongue, find where like their ethnicity or whatever. If you know it, please don't guess, and then use that to kind of open this person up to at least giving you a shot or at least a response. And if you do speak it, well, congrats, you hit the jackpot. And don't screw it up either, because that's one of the best gifts in life. So build up from lesson number 6, which was trust is the go-to currency. That's how you start building it up. All right, number 35. Never underestimate anyone. This one is the biggest. This is also a life lesson, like one of life's lessons, golden lessons, where, and this also comes from just from like family and from immigrant parents in general, is the person you think that won't do the big stuff in life is a dude who will do something that you will never think was possible or that will surpass you. And this is something that I told an old friend. Hopefully you're watching this. Back in 12th grade, the last month before graduation, all I did was go to the computer lab up top at the high school, and all I did was start the research on this. And I remember some people were like, "What the fuck are you doing up there? Why are you going up there? Are you like lonely or something?" And for me, I just gave a response. Oh, I'm building something. And by the way, this is what I was building. So for anyone who was in my senior grade, hello from the other side. I got to the other side. The grass is actually kind of greener here. Not really, but you got to find another patch of grass. But yeah, that's basically what it is. If you really want to do what you want to do, also for just high schoolers in general, if you really want to do what you want to do, please do it. Don't be afraid of, oh, I might miss out on team memories and stuff like that. If you have set your mind to it, and if that's what you really want to do, you won't even care. It'll just be like one of those tiny, tiny, tiny micro regrets where you're like, maybe I should have, but you already enjoy the life that you have. So you wouldn't really think about it that much. It's just be like, maybe if I did, but whatever. You don't really care about it that much. And I know I won't really care about it that much because I rather have taken a dub or created something that I know that will benefit somebody than absolutely do nothing and pretend I'm making memories for that. Sure, that may be selfish. Maybe they were being selfish, which is, helping themselves. But then again, that's my moral code is different from theirs. That's all right. And that might be the same thing for you if you are a high schooler. If what you really want to do is build and build, go ahead. No one's stopping you. No one's stopping you. It's just that that is the price you must pay. Is you must pay the price for memories in your teens in exchange for creating something that is more valuable. And plus, if you're giving up today for tomorrow, also fine. You'll be able to have your cake tomorrow instead of today. While some people will want the cake now, but they won't have anything tomorrow. And that's why they might they might come for you because they still want your cake. So it's up to you. But just know that whatever you want, there's a price to pay. And if you're not willing to pay that price, you're not going to get it. So I paid my price. I got what I wanted. I'm happy. I hope everyone else from Buckley, hi. If you're happy, great. If not, clap your hands. I didn't mean to do that, but whatever. All right, 36. The global reserve currency of respect and of trust basically is hustling. You just got to hustle. For me, hustling. 8 hours. I remember the first 4 or 5 months of this filter thing. 8 hours. 8 hours. I was just going nonstop research before GPT came out. That's when it started helping a little bit. Yeah, you just gotta hustle your way, and the younger you are, the more respect you need at this age to say stuff like this. And hustling is the best way to get at least one coin of currency, but it does require you need to hustle more to get the same amount of coins in terms of respect. It's like with $1 and 20 Mexican pesos, you know, uh, respect is like $1, and then 1 peso is like hustling. So you need to get 20 pesos ish to get the same dollar of respect. But hustle is always respected because you can trade it for respect. And to be honest, right here with this filter, I think I might have gotten 3 respect points. 10 is 10 for me is, I don't know, like making a million or something. That's just me, but making a victory point for humanity in something that's very complicated, I'll give it 2 or 3 respect points. But yeah, respect points can go a long way. So if you don't have respect points, hustle your way to whatever the current mission they have is. And if you do already have respect points, great, keep hustling. All right, so we're all hustlers here, some way, because we all want our cake. Anyway, 37. This one is very powerful, at least for me, and I hope it is powerful for you. But take this quote on your wall, or on your phone. I put it on my WhatsApp, one of my starred messages. Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory point for humanity. Horace Mann. I actually found this was May, so last month, but it was because I felt a little bit sluggish, but I needed this to be reminded that it's not over yet. Job's not done. And the way I define victory points is just prove the competence of being a human. And that can be whatever endeavor you want. If you want to be a world champion in wrestling, fine, go ahead, do it. If you want to be if you want to, I don't know, be a nuclear physicist, it's fine. If you want to if you want to be the next J.K. Rowling, fine, go ahead. But prove the competency of what it means to be a human. Because, to be honest, there is no right path to get there. It's just getting to the final destination of whatever the journey is. That's what proving competency is. So, yeah, video games, porno, that's not really a victory point. And in fact, you should be ashamed. Because if I was your dad, I'd be ashamed. All right. So take that on your wall and remind yourself. Words dictate your life, by the way. Notice how I really dislike using the word time. At least the way that if I'm not doing physics or chemistry, I don't use the word time. I use attention. So I should have put that on the slide, but yeah, switch time to attention if you're using it for like regular uses. Other words that I would suggest switching is have to and change it to choose to, because that's really what you're doing. You don't, like, for example, when you say, oh, I have to, I don't know, clean the house. You don't have to, you're choosing to clean the house because of something. I got to, or like I got to go see my parents or something. No, you want to, you get to. So instead of saying I got to, you get to, because not a lot of people got parents, And then the next one is I can't. When people say I can't, what they're really saying is I won't because X. For example, if I say, oh, I can't go to this reunion, what you're really saying is I won't go to this reunion because I have something because I prioritize something else over this reunion, most likely. So look at whatever you're saying, and maybe if you're subconscious to it, switch that around. You will notice the benefits in terms of just this emotional dynamic that you have with yourself. So words dictate your life. 39. And I don't know why a lot of people, or at least the people surrounding my own life, hate this one, but the inverse of fear is faith, guys. Come on. Because faith is what breeds risk. It's just it's literally that leap of faith of saying, you know what? Because here's what fear is. Fear is you see an obstacle and you don't want to do anything. You're just like, all right, I'll walk away. Faith is you see it and you're just like, all right, well, fuck it. Even if it's that sending out that cold DM, or if it's, I don't know, bungee jumping, whatever, But it's, yeah, if you're being cautious, does fear means faith? No, it's what caution breeds fear, because now you're trying to be careful, and that leads to your own doubts. But with your faith, you take the risk, and with the risk, there's reward. And when you have a moral code combined with faith, you have the order. There's order, and that's the bonus. Order breeds progress. So if you're fearful, you're trying to be cautious. But if you have the faith, that's where you end up like me with rewards. Maybe I might not get a reward as like a conference or whatever, but having the reward of building something, that's, to be honest, that's more powerful than any wherever I go, to be honest. 40. Smartest people have basic words defined for themselves. If you looked at my first video, smart is the way I define smart is just, the potential energy to create as many victory points or creations in whatever human realm or endeavor they decide to engage in and pursue. And one example of a very smart person, or a very competent person, actually, because competent means, in my eyes, competent means they've done it. Like, they have gotten victory points. It's like potential versus kinetic, and potential, smart, competency is kinetic energy. Like, it's happening. And for the Hormozis and Dr. Kashi, happiness, they define it as getting to do what you want with people you want. I would add with wherever you want, but whatever. That's just one example. In other words, could be like sad, tired, lazy, success, failure, fear, faith, grit, pain, whatever. Like, those words, they have their own definitions for it. And like, for me, time and attention, I already have them defined. And I know when I use them, when I don't. And by the way, I'm not trying to flex my smartass. It's just that sometimes the dictionary isn't the best way to define words. You will eventually need to define them for yourself. So basically, just don't rely on the dictionary. Define it for yourself. Okay, so this is the end of part 2. We're gonna start here. We'll start back at this. For now, I'm gonna leave it for you here. Have fun pondering.